72 MPs just walked out on Keir Starmer, and the Labour Party will never be the same again. This isn't a minor rebellion. This isn't backbench grumbling over a policy tweak. This is a full-blown political earthquake, and Starmer is buried under the rubble. Can you believe it? The man who was supposed to unite the left, rebuild trust after years of chaos, and lead Labour into a new golden era, destroyed. Completely and utterly destroyed by his own people. Let that sink in for a second. 72 MPs, not one, not five. 72 sitting Labour members deciding that enough is enough, that they cannot and will not stand behind this leader anymore. The scale of this revolt is staggering. And if you think the establishment media is giving it the coverage it deserves, think again. This story is bigger than anything they want to admit. So buckle up, because we are going through every brutal detail of how Keir Starmer just got the most devastating political humiliation of his career. Let's start at the moment everything cracked open. The tension inside Labour had been building for months. Anyone paying attention could see it coming. Starmer had been making decision after decision that alienated the very base that was supposed to carry him forward. Cuts to welfare support, a foreign policy stance that left members furious, and an economic approach that felt more like a continuation of austerity than a bold new vision. The grassroots were screaming, the MPs were whispering, and then the whispers became a roar. When the vote came, 72 Labour MPs defied the whip. 72. That is not a faction. That is a movement. And Starmer had no answer for it. None. His team tried to spin it, tried to frame it as a manageable disagreement, but seriously, how do you manage a revolt of that size? How do you walk into a room knowing that nearly a quarter of your parliamentary party thinks you failed them? The answer is, you can't. And Starmer couldn't. But do you know what made this even more devastating? It wasn't just the numbers. It was who was involved. These weren't fringe voices or perennial troublemakers. These were MPs who had defended Starmer publicly, who had gone on television and radio to back his leadership through previous controversies. People who had invested their political credibility in him. And now, they were done. Gone. Walking away from the whip and making it crystal clear that the direction he was taking Labour was unacceptable. That is a betrayal in reverse, and Starmer brought it entirely on himself. The welfare cuts issue alone was enough to light the fuse. Proposals that would strip support from some of the most vulnerable people in the country. Disabled people, low-income families, people already on the edge. And Labour under Starmer was pushing them through. The party of the working class, the party built on protecting ordinary people, was now the party asking those same people to sacrifice more. Nope. The MPs said nope, and they were right too. But here's the kicker. Even after the revolt, even after 72 of his own MPs publicly humiliated him in Parliament, Starmer's response was tone deaf. No genuine outreach, no serious rethink, just the same talking points, the same managed messaging, the same political machinery grinding forward as if nothing had happened. Classic Starmer move, ignore the fire, keep walking, hope the cameras follow you somewhere else. But this fire is too big to ignore if the cameras aren't moving. And guess what? The public noticed. Polling numbers that were already uncomfortable for Labour started sliding further. Trust in Starmer personally hit new lows. The narrative that he was a steady, competent, reliable alternative to chaos was shattered. Because what looks less competent than losing 72 of your own MPs in a single vote? What screams instability louder than a parliamentary party at war with its own leadership? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's talk about the broader picture here, because this isn't just about one vote or one policy. This revolt is the culmination of years of frustration with the way Starmer has operated. He came to power promising unity, promising a big tent labor party where different traditions could coexist. But what he actually delivered was control, discipline, and a relentless purge of anyone who didn't fall in line with his particular brand of politics. Left-wing voices were sidelined. Policies that had genuine public support were quietly abandoned. And the message to the membership was essentially, trust us, we know better. Seriously? You can't run a political party like that and expect loyalty when things get hard. The MPs who walked away aren't just sending a message to Starmer. They're sending a message to the entire political establishment. They're saying that the hollowing out of Labor's soul has consequences, that you cannot strip a party of its values, its identity, and its purpose, and then expect the people inside it to keep quiet. 72 of them decided silence was no longer an option, and every single one of them deserves credit for that stand. But do you know what comes next? Because this is where it gets really interesting. A revolt of this size doesn't just fade away, it creates momentum. It emboldens others. MPs who were on the fence were nervous about breaking ranks, who were watching to see what happened to the first wave. They're watching now. And what they're seeing is that the sky didn't fall. The 72 are still standing. They made their point, they took their stand, and the world kept spinning. So what's stopping the next group from doing the same thing? Starmer is now governing, if you can call it that, with a fractured parliamentary party, a membership that is deeply disillusioned, and a public that is increasingly questioning whether he was ever the right person for this job. The authority he once projected is gone. The discipline that was supposed to be his greatest strength has become his greatest liability. Because discipline only works when people are willing to be disciplined. And 72 MPs just made it very clear they are not. The question everyone in Westminster is now asking, and nobody wants to answer out loud, is whether this leadership can survive. Not just politically survive, not just limp through to the next election, but actually lead, actually govern with purpose and conviction. Because a prime minister who cannot carry his own parliamentary party on major votes is a prime minister in name only. The real power has shifted. The revolt has changed the mathematics of this government, and no amount of spin can change that back. What Starmer is facing right now is the political equivalent of a building with its foundations cracked. You can keep painting the walls, keep rearranging the furniture, keep telling everyone it's fine, but the structure is compromised, and everyone inside knows it. The 72 MPs who walked out aren't just a headline. They are the visible sign of a collapse that has been happening slowly, quietly, and now very publicly. This was supposed to be Labor's moment. Years in opposition, a historic election victory, a chance to reshape Britain. And instead of seizing that moment, Starmer has managed to fracture his own coalition within months of taking power. The ambition was there. The mandate was there. The opportunity was there. And he wasted it chasing a version of politics that his own party doesn't believe in. 72 MPs don't walk out for nothing. They walk out because they've run out of other options, because they've tried the conversations, the meetings, the quiet pressure, and none of it worked. So they went public, they went on record, they drew a line. And that line says, this is not the Labour Party we signed up for, and this is not the leader we can follow. Starmer didn't just lose a vote, he lost the room. And in politics, once you lose the room, you rarely get it back.